Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. This episode, entitled The Cave, starring Richard Beals and Billy Chapin, and narrated by John Dehner, goes back to December 20th, 1955.
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, in answer to many requests, we bring back a charming fantasy about a small boy who discovered a new world and lived forever after in its enchantment. We call it The Cave. So now, starring Richard Beals with Billy Chapin, here is tonight's suspense play, The Cave.
It's on days like this that I remember how it used to be before I found the cave. This day in particular. Of course, it's hard to see everything as it really was. Time has a habit of distorting the memories. Memories. Christmas. Christmas Day. What a long time ago that was. I was 10, and an unpopular uncle had distinguished himself by giving me a flashlight. It was enormous. 4 batteries, and a most incredible gleam to its metal case. I couldn't wait to try it out. And because it was still early afternoon, I could think of only one place that was dark enough for the exciting test. The cave. The big cave, whose mouth was near the sand dunes, and whose recess was rumored to be miles deep. George Fennell and I had never ventured more than 200 yards or so inside. But on that Christmas afternoon, I knew that the cold darkness of the cave would have no fears for George and me. We met near the dunes, as arranged, to compare notes on our respective Christmas presents. It was quite warm, and the snow was beginning to melt in patches. A few gulls were wheeling about nearby. It was as I have remembered it all my life.
That's keen. Listen, I'd better work like a searchlight tonight.
I guess it would, all right.
Maybe they'll let us stay up tonight if it doesn't get too cold, and we could play pirate. I could use my new gun.
I thought we might go in the cave this afternoon.
Hey, that's keen. Uh-oh. Maybe they'll get sore. I had to get all dressed up today.
We won't get dirty. Besides, we could go a real long way inside with this.
I wouldn't want to go in too far. They say the cave goes off in a lot of tunnels. We could get lost.
Maybe if you haven't got a flashlight.
Sure, that's right. And with my gun... Sure, we can explore. Come on. I'll race you to the cave.
I won the race, and we stood at the entrance of the big cave. The arch had a span of about 25 feet, but just inside it widened until the walls were 70 feet apart and the ceiling over 50. As we passed from sunlight to shadow, I turned for a moment and looked down to the sea. At the water's edge, a gull stood motionless, looking up at us. Then, solemnly, as though with disapproval, it too turned about and gazed out over the water. The opening of the cave receded and became small, and we went deeper and deeper.
Hey, shine it up there, Dan. Way up.
Okay.
Gee, I'll bet that's high.
Well, a mile, I guess.
You're silly. Maybe 100 feet. Boy, that's keen. Sounds like a real gun.
Come on. Looks like the cave turns down there. See?
Okay, but we better not go too far. You scared? Heck no, but, well, I gotta get back for dinner. They'll be awful sore if I'm late.
You won't be late. Come on. I want to see what's around there.
Okay, hold the light on my gun. I gotta reload. Fish? Whoever heard of fish in a stream like this? Where'd they come from? Where?
I don't know. They say there are fish in caves sometimes. Blind fish.
You're silly.
Well, what are you stopping for, George?
We gotta go back now.
Why?
Because it's late. How do you know which tunnel we took? How? Maybe we could get lost.
Listen, George, maybe if we kept on going, we'll find treasure in here.
Treasure?
Stands to reason. Maybe like in the pirate book. Somebody came here and buried treasure. Henry Morgan or somebody.
No.
Sure, stands to reason. Everybody's like you. They say no, but just suppose. If no one's looked, how would they know?
I think we better get back. Maybe tomorrow we can look. The cave's getting awful narrow.
We might even find old pirates' bones and swords.
You've got too much imagination. I've heard them saying so at home. I don't want to go any further.
Well, I'm going to.
Okay, give me the flashlight.
No. You want to go back? You go back. In the dark.
Oh, I don't want to go back. You go back in the dark. They'll be mad. It's late.
Well, just for a little while. If we don't find anything, we'll go back.
All right, but only a little while.
Well, I'm thirsty.
You better not drink out of that water. It's probably poison.
Oh, why? Here, hold the light. I'm going to have a drink.
There you are. See? I told you. Now you'll probably die. It's poison.
No, it's soft. It's like the ocean.
Hey, look.
What?
There, coming down the stream. That white thing.
Yeah.
Looks like a piece of paper.
I'm going to get it. Hold on to my hand.
You'll fall in.
No.
I got it. What is it?
What? Looks like a handkerchief.
That's silly. It's too small. Who use a handkerchief like that?
Well, my mother does.
Gee, hate to blow my nose on that. You can almost see through it.
How'd it get down here?
Who cares?
Maybe it's a message.
Huh?
Like from someone in distress.
I'm going home.
Like a damsel in distress in the pirate book. We've got to find out. Give me my flashlight. We'll follow the stream.
We followed the stream. We walked by it as the cave twisted and curved. We didn't notice the passageway, which had been getting smaller all the time, suddenly widen out, and the stream, which was becoming a river, and the river is a river.
Hey.
What?
Where's the other side of the water?
There isn't any. It keeps going. It's like a lake.
Or maybe a sea. There's little waves.
Dan? Huh? Turn the light around.
The walls have gone. There's no walls.
There must be. It's a cave.
Hey, there's no top to it either.
It's just too high to see, that's all. Let's go home. Let's go home right now.
Oh, what are you afraid of?
I'm not. But I'm hungry, and it's Christmas. And, well, I've got things to play with. Come on, Dan. Come on. I want to get outside. What'd you do that for? Turn on the light. Turn it on.
Don't you notice something?
Turn that on. Give it to me.
Oh, wait a minute. I want you to see something.
Give it to me. I'm not going to play with you. Give it.
See what you've done? You dropped it in the water.
It's all your fault. I didn't want to come here anyway. How are you going to get back? It's dark.
No, it isn't. That's what I wanted you to see. Look up there.
I don't see anything.
You will.
Oh, it's like stars. Way up there.
That's what it is. It's stars.
We stood there, George and I, 10 years old, and for a moment no longer afraid because of the wonder of the thing. There was light from a sky I knew I had never seen before. Yet I knew I was still in the big cave, because when I spoke, the echo of my voice returned.
It's beautiful.
I can't find the flashlight. The water's too deep.
That's funny.
You're always saying that. It's not going to be funny when you can't get home.
Listen. Dan! Dan! Now you do it.
What for? It's just an old echo.
Go on.
George! George!
There. How can there be an echo when there's no cave anymore?
You're just trying to scare me. Well, I'm going. You can come too if you want. Dan, please?
I'll bet nobody's ever been in here ever. I'll bet we're the first. Except for pirates, maybe. Oh, I wish we could see more.
If my mother hadn't taken our matches away, we could find our way out. Gee, Dan, it's night. Come on, please. I'm hungry. Somebody's here. Somebody else.
It sounds like it's over there.
No, don't go, Dan. Dan, I'm scared. I don't like this place.
Go home if you want. I can see someone. Look.
Gee.
He's digging in the sand.
Don't. Let's not go any closer, Dan.
Let go of me. I want to see what he's doing.
No. Look.
There's some other people. They got swords.
Aha! I caught you, Namby, you scurvy wretch. Look at him, bully.
I just wanted to see if the treasure was still there. Scoot, Daddy.
I'll show you what's there, you pot-bellied toad.
I wasn't touching the treasure. Don't kill me.
Kill you? I haven't started to kill you yet, Namby. Come on, bullies, lay on. We'll exercise our appetites for the feast.
You are listening to The Cave, tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
December 20th, 1955, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
And here's the Cinnamon Bear.
The oldest known children's Christmas serial in radio history, The Cinnamon Bear, featuring some of the most popular actors in radio history, including Elliot Lewis, Joseph Kearns, Verna Felton, Lou Merrill, Frank Nelson, Howard McNear, and child actress Barbara Jean Wong. 85 years later, this series of Judy and Jimmy traveling to Maybeland to recover their silver stars still fascinates youngsters of all ages. Now we're offering the entire 26-episode series of The Cinnamon Bear via download for a Buy Me a Coffee donation of $10 or more at classicradio.stream. Support Classic Radio Theater and have The Cinnamon Bear for your family to enjoy for years to come. Go to classicradio.stream and donate $10 or more, and I'll send you a link for immediate download. classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. We continue now with more of Suspense and The Cave. This episode originally broadcast December 20th, 1955.
And now we bring back to our Hollywood soundstage Richard Beals with Billy Chapin, starring in tonight's production, The Cave, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
In that faint light from the stars of another world, the world of the big cave, George and I watched. We could only see shadows until someone lit a lantern. And then I knew I'd been right.
Pirates! Pirates!
I want to go home.
Pirates they were, the most glorious, the gaudiest pirates to sail under the Jolly Roger. The leader was a huge man with a fine, bushy beard and a voice like the trombone in the village band.
How shall we cook him, bullies? Broiled or steamed?
No, Captain, no.
Now he's too tough a morsel for that, Captain. I says roast him. Roast it'll be.
There's nothing like roast, Namby. I always say so.
But we'll cut out his heart first and feed it to the dog. Namby, you lily-livered aggravation. Say your prayer.
He's going to kill him. I don't want to watch, Dan. Dan, shut up. Shh.
Who was that?
I don't know, Captain.
Sounded like a boy.
A boy? A boy?
Mayhap it was the Lady Alicia.
Bill, she be in the dungeon, Gunfallon.
Aye, that's true.
It came from over there. Hold the lantern high, Sheriff.
Aye, Captain.
They'll get us, Dan. We've got to run.
Don't be afraid. If you're not afraid, nothing can happen.
Do you see anything, Gunfallon?
Oh, not, but... save us all. 'Tis a boy.
Nay, 'tis two on them. Scuppery. Boy. Hold the little demon. That's it. Boy. Two small boys. And now what shall we do with him, Captain?
Hang him, I say. Hang him. They be after the treasure.
You! Were it not Christmas, Namby, I should have turned you inside out. Hold your blister bladdering jaw, you.
Aye, Captain, sir. Aye.
Boy, what's your name?
Dan Embry, sir.
And that one?
George. He's my friend, George. George Fennel. His father's a policeman.
Where do you come from, boy?
Greenfield. That's outside the cave.
Cave? What cave? What do you do here? Whose spies be? Answer up now.
We were just exploring, and we got here, that's all.
Exploring? Where be your ship?
We didn't come in a ship.
No ship?
They're boys, Captain. What harm can they do? Come, it's Christmas. I say feed them and send them on their way.
What's Christmas got to do with it? If they be spies, it's the plank.
No, we're not spies, honest.
We'll look into this further. Meantime, the goose and suckling pig should be ready. I say it's time for the feast. How say you, buddy? Be a hungry boy.
Yes?
And him.
He's hungry, too.
Then join us in a Merry Christmas. For no man can say Captain Blackton lacks the Christian spirit. Am I right, Namby?
Oh, you're right, Captain. Right as a rail.
I'd have slit your gullet if you said me nay. Merry Christmas, and break out the rum.
I remember that day, that long ago. The great dining board set upon trestles, the fruits and wine, roast goose and pig, the pirates, rough in their colorful patched clothing, the songs and drinking, stories of home and sea. Such Christmases I dreamt of, and I had dreamed it to come true. George sat next to me, eyes wide and unbelieving. After the plum pudding, we were called upon to sing a carol.
Silent night, holy night.
As we sang, they became quiet, and each sat lost with his own thoughts of sweetness and sadness. The little man, Namby, bird-like and asleep. Gonfalon, thin as a twig, a patch over one eye, the other kindly and wise. Schill and the captain, tears coursing down their cheeks. These were my pirates, my own.
Sleep in heavenly peace.
Well done, I say. Well done. A dollop of rum for the boy.
Captain, this been a happy day with us. Let's share it with those less fortunate.
Less fortunate? Who? We are all well met.
Well, that Lady Alicia.
Nay, she be our prisoner. And until ransom be paid, so she will remain.
Oh, what matter if she grace our table for the evening? It's been a long time since a woman has been with us.
Very well. Send the prisoner here. Fetch her from the dungeon.
Then I thought of the fine lace handkerchief we had found in the stream. Would this prisoner, the Lady Alicia, would she have sent the message of distress? And how? They brought her in, and to me, she looked as she should have looked. The most beautiful lady in the world, gowned in silks, with a pale but proud face. I fell in love with her, and I was 10. As the night wore on, the pirates grew drowsy, and one after another their heads drooped, and soon all were asleep. Even George, sitting small in his great chair, nodded. I went to the Lady Alicia's side.
It was your handkerchief we found in the stream, wasn't it?
Yes, I had not dared to hope.
But they have you locked in a dungeon.
Beyond my window is a running brook. I prayed that when I dropped the kerchief, it would by some happy chance be discovered.
Well, I found it all right.
You are very brave to have come here.
Well, how long have they kept you prisoner?
6 months now.
The conclusion of Suspense from December 20th, 1955 follows these messages. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of Suspense, December 20th, 1955, The Cave.
We were sailing to the Indies. Our ship was taken, and I alone survived. Now they hold me for ransom.
Oh, that's terrible. Gosh, I wish I could do something to save you.
There is nothing.
Oh, I know I'm not very big, but maybe I could fight them.
There are too many for you.
Dad, they're all asleep. Come on, we can get away now. Let's go home.
Home?
Sure. Our folks are going to be mad.
Oh, George, we've got to save her.
If you could but escape and deliver a message to my father.
Sure, okay. Where does he live?
London. Lord Basingstoke. He would reward you well.
Sure, but we gotta go now.
I don't want to leave you. They'll be angry when they wake up.
My hope will rest in you. I shall pray for your safety and return.
Gee whiz, Dan, come on.
You go ahead. I'll be right along.
Okay, but hurry up. I'll wait by the water.
Will you be all right?
Yes.
Suppose I come back and you're not here.
I shall try to leave a message.
I'm Dan.
I know.
When I get older, I shall marry you. You're beautiful.
I'll wait for you. Now you must go before they awake.
I don't want to go.
You will come back to me. Here.
I love you.
Hurry up, Dan. Gee whiz. I want to get home. They'll be mad. Mother said not to be late for dinner.
We've got to save Lady Alicia. Don't forget.
Okay, but hurry up.
It's kind of dark, but I know which way to go.
I don't want to fall in the stream and get all wet. I've got my good clothes on.
You won't.
I'm sorry I dropped your flashlight in. I'll save up and get you another.
I don't mind.
I'll bet it's awful late. I'm glad it's Christmas. Maybe they won't mind.
We followed the tunnels one to the other. The stream flowed with us, urging us on. It was dark, but I knew the way. We felt along the damp walls of the cave, and at every step we moved further away from my world. Suddenly, from a great distance, we saw a tiny circle of light, a dot, which grew and grew until it was the size of a golden sovereign.
There it is, Dan. It's the entrance, and it's still light out. I won't be late for dinner.
And I was afraid. I was afraid because I knew that when I stepped out into that sunlight, I should never be able to find my way back again. Never.
Hey, what are you stopping for? Why?
George?
If we can run, we can make it home before the sun goes down. For Pete's sakes, Dan, what's the matter with you?
I'm not coming with you. I've got to go back.
Go back? What do you want to do that for?
I've got to. I don't want to leave her. The pirates. I want to go back.
Pirates? Who?
The Lady Alicia.
Gee whiz, Dan, come on. It's only a game. Come on.
You've forgotten. I knew you would. I'm not going with you.
You better. I'll tell your mother, and you get it.
Goodbye, George.
Dan? Dan, come back, Dan. What's the matter with you? Dan? You get lost, Dan. Dan, don't go in there. We played long enough. Come back. Come back, Dan. Dan. Hey, Dan.
I had turned away from George and the speck of light that was outside. His voice had followed me, plaintive and lonely. Then, as I found the stream again, there was no sound but that of gentle water and my own steps. And the stream became a river, and the river broadened. The walls of the cave fell away, and I'd found my pirates again. It's on days like this that I remember how it used to be before I found the cave. This day in particular. Sometimes I wonder what happened to George and what it's like outside the cave. But I don't really mind. After all, the Lady Alicia kept her promise and waited for me until I grew up. Now everything is as I'd always dreamed it in the books. Oh, Captain Blackton? He's still here. A little less ferocious, perhaps, than 20 years ago.
Captain?
Yes, Blackton.
If you and my lady are ready, sir, the turkeys be cooked and the men wait in your pleasure.
Very well, Blackton. Thank you. And a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, sir. And a Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Suspense, in which Richard Beals with Billy Chapin starred in tonight's presentation of The Cave. Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Anthony Ellis, who also wrote tonight's script. The music was composed by Rene Garrigang and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Featured in the cast were John Dehner, Hans Conried, Ben Wright, Lawrence Dobkin, Ellen Morgan, and Raymond Lawrence.
December 20th, 1955. Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we approach the conclusion of the children's Christmas serial, The Cinnamon Bear. This episode, December 20th, 1937.
Judy and Jimmy, with their friends Cinnamon Bear and the Crazy Quilt Dragon, have made a marvelous discovery. As you'll probably remember, they're still in the Golden Grove, where they were supposed to find an important clue under the singing tree. But that was practically impossible because all the trees in the Golden Grove looked exactly alike. Too tired to look further, they fell asleep. And when they awakened, they discovered they'd been napping right under the very tree they were searching for. And that wasn't all they discovered, for right beside them stood an enormous silk hat with windows and a door in it, and pinned to the door a note which Jimmy is about to read. Let's listen.
Bless my stuffing, but I'm getting curious. What does it say, Jimmy?
Well, it says, no trespassing unless you are Judy, Jimmy, Cinnamon Bear, and the Crazy Quilt Dragon.
My, this is interesting indeed.
I'm going to open the door. Oh, look.
Very comfy looking, I'd say at a quick glance.
My, 4 chairs, each by a window. Stylish stuff, all the trimmings.
And look, 3 are just our size, and 1's big enough for Crazy Quilt.
It's an awful nice place to sit, all right. But I don't see what this has to do with getting the star put back together again.
Oh, wait. Here's another note on one of the chairs.
Read it, Patio Cinnamon.
Okay. Very interesting indeed. It's from Melissa, just as I thought.
A logical supposition, my friend, but proceed to enlighten us as to its contents.
Very well. Dear friends, the flying hat will take you out of Maybeland to a place where you should have no trouble getting your precious silver star mended. When you are ready for the flight, just say, "Topper, topper, off we go to the land of ice and snow." Upon your arrival, ask the first person you meet where to go to find Nicky Frudel. Lots of luck, Melissa. Wait, here's a P.S. Do not be afraid of the flying hat. It is equipped with the very best Maryland motor.
Oh, this is awful exciting. But I wonder why we have to go to a land of ice and snow to get the silver star fixed.
It is indeed mystifying, but undoubtedly Melissa has some definite reason for sending us there.
Well, I don't want to rush you, but we're wasting time. Suppose we just do as Melissa says and get going.
Always the practical man of affairs, Jimmy. Let us go indeed.
I'll say the rhyme that Melissa told us to use to make the flying hat go. Everybody ready?
Surest thing you know.
Indubitably.
What?
Just skip it.
Topper, topper, off we go to the land of ice and snow.
We're going right up.
We're going up. Oh, boy, this is swell.
Oh, boy, we're way over the tops of the trees already.
And look, the Golden Grove looks just like a lot of melted butter.
Always thinking of your tummy. No mind for finer things.
Look, I bet that's the end of the Golden Grove.
Yes, and beyond it I can't see a thing, can you?
The Wintergreen Witch knew what she was talking about when she said that abyss was bottomless. Why, the closer we get to it, the bigger it looks. If she ever dropped the pieces of our star in there, goodness knows where they'd stop. Probably keep right on falling.
And speaking of falling, we're right over it now.
Goodness, suppose we fall.
Oh, quit your worrying. Melissa said this flying hat was equipped with the best Maryland motor, didn't she? Well, I'll bet on Melissa any day. She's swell.
You know, it may be just imagination, but I feel distinctly cold. What about you?
Oh, I do feel sort of chilly.
Well, now that you mention it, my stuffing feels a little bunchier than usual, and that always means it's cold.
Say, I see something white ahead. Why, I bet that's the snow country.
Right as usual, Jimmy. It's just as white as can be.
I wonder what we're supposed to do there.
You know, what I'm wondering about is this flying hat. What do we do to stop it?
Oh, I rather think it will stop of its own accord.
Yes, but when? For all we know, it'll just keep right on flying and flying and flying.
Oh, you know motors just can't keep on going forever. You gotta put something in them.
Anyway, Melissa's note said the flying hat would take us someplace. And you know Melissa always tells us the truth.
Oh, look. We're going down. Here we go.
Oh.
We're going to land on a hill.
Oh, yes.
Boy. Come on, let's get out.
Well.
Isn't it cold?
You bet. Gee, I wish I had my sweater.
I could use my green flannel underwear right now.
I'm a bit afraid my crazy quilt colors will get frozen blue.
Look at the flying hat.
Why, it's tipping itself, just like it was saying goodbye.
Oh, look, now it's flying off.
Yes. Well, there's no doubt about it. This is where Melissa meant for us to come.
Look, everybody. Look at that shiny thing down below us. Isn't that a palace?
Anyway, a mansion. But it's a good piece down the hill.
Gee, I wish I had a toboggan. That'd take us there in a jiffy.
Well, what do we need with a toboggan? Here's Crazy Quilt. Come on, Crazy Quilt. Justify your existence.
Oh, me, just a vehicle. That's me. Always doing a bit of transportation.
Poor Crazy Quilt. You don't have to if you don't want.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I was just grumbling. Tobogganing is what I've always longed to do. Climb on. Oh, just a minute till I tuck my legs under me. Yes, there, that's right. Now, off we go.
We're just going faster.
Oh, my. I got snow down my neck.
Hey, I got snow all the way down my back.
Yes.
I feel like a cinnamon bear frozen pudding for sure.
Let me dust the snow out of your fur, Patty, dear.
Thank you, Judy. Just a little patch back of my left shoulder blade. Thanks a lot.
Say, here's a flight of steps. I didn't see them when we landed.
Nor I, but I arrived head first. Oh, I slipped. Why, they're made of ice.
I think I see something over there. It looks like a snowman.
Why, it is a snowman. Bless my crazy quilt, Aunt. He's wearing a silk hat, carrying a cane, and has a cigar in his mouth.
Yes, and look at his nose. It seems to be a regular red Christmas tree light.
We ought to speak to him. Remember, Melissa said to ask the first person we met about somebody called Nicky Frudel?
Uh-huh. Excuse me, Mr. Snowman.
I'll excuse you anything your little heart desires, my little sunbeam.
I beg your pardon, but...
Likewise, I will pardon you. Anything for a lady.
Well, do you know somebody called Nicky Frudel?
Nicky Frudel. Let me see. Yes. You must mean Nicky Frudel. Nice chap, Nicky. Yes, indeed. Very nice. Used to play a bit of snow tennis with him. Fine game, snow tennis. You don't play it at all like lawn tennis. Not at all. Grasping the racket firmly twixt thumb and index finger, you essay to strike the pellet.
Yes, but... My goodness, Judy. His nose is turned from red to green.
Bless my stuffing, it's just like a stop-and-go light.
How come this change of color, friend Snowman?
Glad you asked me about that, my friend. Glad you asked me. Just a gadget I rigged up last year. Quite a novelty, if I do say so myself. I was directing traffic up to the Winter Sports Carnival. Glad you like the little knick-knack? Yes.
Look, his nose has changed to red again.
But despite the changeability of your olfactory organ...
My goodness, why does Crazy Quilt have to talk like that?
Showing off, that's all. He's just showing off.
Well, we are beginning to partake of the frigidity of this northern climate and would be guided to the vicinity of one Nicky Frudel.
Who?
Nicky Frudel.
Oh, yes. Didn't you mention him a while ago?
Sure we did.
I thought the name sounded familiar.
Well, where is he? Where can we find him?
Oh, so you want to meet him, eh? I don't blame you, my friends. Nice fellow, Nicky. Used to play a bit of snow tennis.
We know. Snow tennis.
Yes. How things do get around. And who told you that, my little icicle?
Gee willikers, you just told us that yourself just a minute ago.
So I did. Well, my little lad, you may enter the presence of Nicky Frudel by going up those steps and ringing the bell. Speaking of bells, I used to know a Swiss bell ringer. Very fine musician, very fine. Used to play Yankee Doodle on 8 sleigh bells. Touched my heart, he did.
Look, his nose has changed from red to green again. Well, we've got the green light. Let's go.
With the greatest of pleasure.
You might bring me back a strawberry snow cone on your way back.
All right, we will if we find one.
This is awful hard to get up. The steps are so slippery.
Ouch. You're telling me? I got a dent in me stuffing.
Yes, I, too, feel a certain lack of celerity in our ascent.
Oh, boy. Here I go.
My. Back so soon. Where's my strawberry snow cone?
Oh, come on, everybody. Let's make it this time. 1, 2, 3... Go!
Yes.
Come on. Wait for me, Jimmy.
Don't mind your steps now, Judy.
Oh, dear. All these steps I must watch. Come on now.
Yes.
We made it.
There's a bell, Jimmy. Ring it.
Okay. How do you do?
How do you do?
You must be Judy, Jimmy, the Cinnamon Bear, and the Crazy Quilt Dragon. Oh, I've been expecting you for some time. Won't you come in?
Much obliged to you.
Thank you very much. Are you Nicky Frudel?
I am. Excuse me while I close the door. It's pretty cold outside. Gee, it's lots warmer in here, all right. We've been kind of chilly out there. We're not exactly dressed for it like you are in all that white fur.
Would you mind, please, if I asked a question? I don't mean to be rude, but you look like us. And yet you don't.
Oh, you see, I'm an elf.
Oh, well, Queen Melissa of Maybeland sent us in a flying hat to see about getting our beautiful silver star put together again. And she said we were to see you.
Well, that's right, Judy. But Melissa meant for me to take you to somebody else, and he'll help you. Will you please follow me up the hall?
Yes.
Gee, that's a big door. The gentleman Melissa has arranged for you to meet is waiting for you in his private office at this very moment.
My goodness, who is it, Nicky Frudel?
Why, didn't you know? It's Santa Claus.
Santa Claus? I had an idea that's who it was going to be all the time, but I wasn't quite sure. And now that I know, I'm certainly going to be on hand next time when Judy and Jimmy meet him. Yes, sir, a visit with Santa Claus is one thing I couldn't miss.
Yes. I mean, Santa Claus has to be in a Christmas cereal, don't you know, especially for children. December 20th, 1937, The Cinnamon Bear here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you'll take the time to visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows on demand there, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me there, and if you like what we do, you can buy me a copy. The Buy Me a Coffee money helps us acquire additional classic radio programs. That's at classicradio.stream, classicradio.stream. Also, you can visit my friend Ted at radiomemories.com. Ted provides a whole variety of classic radio programs available on cassette, on CD, or on flash drive for your computer. That's radiomemories.com, radiomemories.com. And I will just mention that on many stations we will have coming up Christmas on the radio again this year, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day on many of these radio stations. Keep your eyes open and ask this station if they will be carrying our show. We appreciate them for doing it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please thank this station. Support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every day. And most importantly, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.